every day. I crucify myself, and nothing was good enough for you. I crucify myself.
You know, I wondered if you had any theories about why preachers' daughters get attracted to this business.
I think there's, you find a freedom of expression in it. You might not be able to talk about things exactly. I don't know. I couldn't at the table. Just certain sexual feelings and certain ideas about religion that wouldn't go over big over Sunday brunch. So you put it in something. And I buried it for years.
Each person has to take stock of themselves at one point in their life and find themselves all over again.
Well, men have periods too. They just don't bleed.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that men don't go through what we do. It's just a different way, I think. That's one of our problems, where we all have the capacity to be violent, and we can all be cowards. And I think that we take on these ideas of what we should be instead of what we are. And I just got really sick of it, because I'd be at a party and I'd want to kill somebody, and I couldn't understand why. I mean, what is it that you could say that could set me off so much? You know, you feel things, and I wanted to know my own mind. I wanted to know, if I want to kill you, I want to know why. And then it comes back to me. It's my relationship with myself. It's a different approach. I think that's what Jesus had meant all along, really, in those teachings. Those teachings, I think, were always about go within. You are the light of the world. You have to be your own savior. You know? Not follow me and follow everything I do. And it's not about be a wannabe Jesus. You know, everybody grow your hair long. And I don't think it's about emulating another person. I think it's about finding truth within yourself. And we haven't been given the tools as a mass conscious to know how to go in and do internal work. We know how to go to a gym and lose stuff on the thigh or stuff on the belly if you follow step this, step that, step this. Whereas there aren't really a lot of steps that we've been taught. How do you accept yourself?
I almost ran over an angel. He had a nice burn fire sugar. Innocence, he said, you're alone here. So if you jump, you best jump far.
The fact is, to a lot of men, a powerful woman is threatening. Do you find resistance to your work, very much resistance?
But not just by men. I find resistance to women that don't want to claim their
own.
Yeah, but the vulnerability side, the feminine, where a lot of power is. Some of the women that really are into their anger trip, and I really respect that there's a time and a place for anger. But you know, I could have guys, jugglers by my heel, no problem a few years ago. Or then I'd be like bringing them jelly beans. It was an extreme behavior, always trying to make up one side or the other instead of just going, okay,
here I am.
Here I am, and you are not my father, you are not the guy that raped me, you are not anybody else, let's just base it on this.
So you have the new album out, Boys for Pele. And Pele is the Hawaiian goddess of the volcano?
Yeah.
And so what is the fire metaphor for?
It's really like an energy force. Not just passion, but it's that feeling that, for whatever reason, I thought the men in my life at the time had a certain access to something that I couldn't access. Not as a musician, I could access certain things, but when I wasn't behind a piano, I looked for my woman's worth through the men in my life. Yet, by the end of the project, I didn't want to roast them as much as I did in the beginning. Because in the beginning, when you hear some of the songs like Blood Roses and Professional Widow, there are moments of, and Caught a Light Sneeze, that's the vampire in me feeding, you know, for whatever reason. And it was a bit naughty, because all it did was just make me very ill at a certain point. It wasn't enough. I needed my own blood. I needed access to these fragments that they were kind of reflecting to me. So each song became this reflection of another piece, of the shadow of woman that I had just not looked at. So people say, you know, is this your male sacrifice record? I'm like, well, you know, I had 5 minutes of that thought, where it's just, they looked really cute if I pushed them over, I thought. But then after you get through that, after you work through that hurt, because, you know, if you're hurt, you want to hurt back at first, right. But it became much different than that, much more of a gift by the end.
Stay sane on the road, because most people, when they go on the road, they have a band with you. Every time I've seen you, it's been you and your good friend, the piano. So how do you stay sane for all this time touring around the world?
I'm not sane.
Thank you.